When an AI agent runs code or takes an action, where does that actually happen? It can run directly on your real computer or it can run inside a sandbox, a safe little box of its own. One touches your real files and network, the other one can't reach outside its box. Let's go under the hood and see exactly what a sandbox is made up of. The agent's code runs right on your real system, one bad command, and it can delete real files or reach anywhere on the network. A sandbox changes that completely. The agent still runs and it still acts, but whatever happens, that stays contained inside the sandbox. Let's define both in one sentence. Direct access means the agent's code runs with full access to your real files, memory, and network. No walls at all. A sandbox is different. The agent runs inside its own throwaway copy of a system with real limits on what it can touch or it can reach, and then it's thrown away. Let's open up the box and see what exactly inside. First, an isolated file system. Second, resource limits. Third, network controls. And fourth, the whole thing is ephemeral. It gets thrown away once the task ends. Let's zoom into the first piece, the isolated file system. The agent gets its own private copy of files, not your real ones. Nothing it writes, deletes, or changes, or the it ever touches your real disk. It's like giving someone a photocopy of your document to write, never the original. Second is resource limits. There are hard caps on the CPU, memory, and disk space it is allowed to use, plus a maximum runtime. If it hits a limit, it just gets stopped and not your whole machine. It's like a fuse box. If something draws too much power, it trips instead of burning down the house. Third is network controls. By default, a sandbox often can't reach the internet at all, or only a short approved list of addresses that stops it from quietly leaking the data out or calling somewhere unsafe. It is like a hotel room phone that can only call the front desk, not the whole world. Now let's see the whole life cycle of one sandbox task. First, it runs inside a fresh, isolated box. Second, its watch, its file system, CPU, memory, and network use all are tracked. Third, anything unexpected is contained, staying inside the box. And fourth, the whole box gets discarded along with everything in it. Let's watch the exact same request handled two different ways. Install this package and run its setup script. With direct access, that script runs with full access to your real system. If it is buggy or malicious, the damage is real. Inside a sandbox, that same scripts run in a disposable, isolated box with its reach capped the whole time. Once it is done, good results or bad, the box is simply thrown away. Now, a fair point, a sandbox isn't always necessary. If the code is fully trusted and you have reviewed it yourself, it may not need isolation. If speed really matters, spinning up a fresh box each time adds a little delay. And a read-only task that can't change or send anything needs far less isolation to begin with. Let's clear up a few common mix-ups. First, a sandbox doesn't mean zero risk. It contains damage. It doesn't remove risk entirely. Second, sandbox, not every container count as a real sandbox. Without resource or network limits, it's barely isolated at all. Third, one sandbox setup doesn't fit every task. A quick lookup and a full code execution need very different limits. Fourth, a sandboxing isn't only about security. Resource limits also stop one runaway task from crashing everything else. Let's bring it all together. Direct access runs an agent's code right on your real system with no walls. An isolated file system keeps its changes off your real files. Resource limits stop one runaway task from taking everything down. And network controls decide exactly what it is allowed to reach. If Sandbox has finally made a sense to you, give it a like and subscribe for the next deep dive under the hood. Thank you for watching.